I bid you good day. This is Mr. K's. We're talking today about 13.2a. 13.2a, Feudalism in Europe. Last time we talked, we looked at invasions from ankle-biter tribes that basically destroyed Rome, and now people are running for the countryside, and they're going to attach themselves to anybody that can help them. We see the origins of the Frankish kingdom under Clovis, and then Charles Martel, Pepin the Short, down to Charlemagne, Charles the Great or Charlemagne. So we see the establishment of Christianity and learning and at least a smaller type of government in Western Europe. Today we're going to be looking about feudalism in general. Why did it begin? Well, the fact that we have these nasties that are on the roads raiding destroyed unity and destroyed the ability to go from place to place, so people didn't trade. You see the Carolingian dynasty that's going to fall from grace, and the fact that we have these marauders like Vikings and Magyars and Muslims on the road, it's going to cause problems. The Vikings were very skillful seafarers and very vicious invaders. The Vikings were a Germanic people. They're also called Northmen because they're from the north, or Norsemen, N-O-R-S-E-M-E-N. We're going to look at Leif Erikson, who around 1001 A.D., he's a Viking explorer, and he most likely reaches North America at about 1001 A.D. He's going to hit the northern part of Canada. So if you look at it, about 500 years before Columbus sails the ocean blue and hits the Americas, Leif Erikson is actually the first European to do it. So hurrah for him. But the Vikings didn't stay in northern Canada. They went back home. The Magyars and the Muslims. The Magyars were from eastern Europe in the Carpathian Mountains. Now, both these groups, the Magyars and the Muslims, are going to cause a threat for Europeans after the Viking threat ended. Why did the Vikings kind of die out? It's because the Vikings became Christians. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. And the climate got a lot better in the southern part of Scandinavia, so it was possible to grow wheat, so they didn't have to raid for a living. Magyars and the Muslims are going to pose a new threat for the Europeans. The invasions by these two are going to weaken central governments, and the people are going to turn to local leaders for protection. So again, you're going to start to see feudalism take over. With these invasions of the Vikings, Magyars, and Muslims, it's going to cause widespread disorder and suffering, and people are going to attach themselves to anybody that can take care of them. Most Western Europeans then were living in constant danger, with no central authority like they were used to with Rome for help. You begin to see private armies that formed to fight off the Vikings, to fight off the Magyars and the Muslims. Feudalism structures society. Well, it sure does. You have a new social order. You go from the large central government of Rome down to these smaller governments. And between 850 and 850 AD and 950 AD, about a 100-year period, you see a system of governing and landholding called feudalism that's going to emerge. Let's see here. What do we want to say about feudalism? Well, it's a type of government in which land is exchanged for goods. Land is exchanged for goods. You can also put down it was based on mutual obligations. Since I give you a chunk of land, I expect goods and services. If you receive that land, well, it's your duty to give me those goods and services. Now, feudalism did not begin in Europe. It began in China in ancient times under the Zhou dynasty, Z-H-O-U, the Zhou dynasty. Then you're going to see it in Japan. We just talked about feudal Japan with a samurai. And in Japan, that was about 1192 and goes all the way to the 19th century, about the 1800s. So that's about a 700-year period where Japan was feudalistic also. Again, it's based on mutual obligations. And I even want you to put down the word reciprocity. That's a math term. reciprocity. Reciprocity. I'm saying that because the greatest person in feudalism isn't one person, it's everybody, because they're going to be very vital in providing what the other one doesn't. Now, a lord is a landowner. A lord is a landowner who grants land. He grants a chunk of land, and that land is called a fief. So a land grant is a fief, not a fief, but a fief. And a vassal is a person who receives a fief. So lords give land, vassals receive land. So lords are actually higher than vassals, supposedly. We're going to be looking at the feudal pyramid in the next section. So this is Mr. K's signing off.